Hi, YouTube. I didn't know you came on. Sometimes it takes about a second. Hope you're doing good. I'm doing pretty good, not too bad. My internet service has been off since last night. Early. Not evening, but night, early nighttime. And Doug went to try and call them and do some other things. He was up early. He went to bed about 3 and was up about 6 and went and got some lumber and busy day for him. Not well, sort of for me. Not too much, just cleaning house, and I'm gonna make chicken fajita for supper, so that's kind of easy. I mean, slicing up the chicken and oops, excuse me, I bumped you, but yeah. So I thought I'd make a video and I can upload it whenever. I I won't say if it ever comes back on, but I'm pretty sure it will. So I don't know. I've been having kind of a lonely day. I don't know if you're lonely like that. I'll tell you about a conversation Doug and I had about my personality when he first met me. I asked him, when did you know of the innocence inside of me? Because he thought I was sort of like running myself down because I really don't have any friends like that because, well, I'll just say it like it is. They have to be worthy of that friendship. I can't fake it. I'm not the type of person that if you tell a dirty joke in front of me, I'm not going to laugh. I'm going to be disgusted because you betrayed me like that, In my mind, that's how I feel. So for me to find friends, sure, I could overlook it. I sure could. But that's not the way my heart feels that I should conduct myself for settling for less than what I want in my life. So Doug and I were having that conversation because I was curious. It's like people know who I am the second they meet me, and there has been hundreds, if not thousands of people that have gone out of their way to do things to me on purpose to torture me because I'm not like them. For whatever reason, for their pleasure, or for Satan's, one way or another, they try and do things to me. Now, I don't have a lot of that going on personally in my life, but in long distance situations, like I have to be careful who I watch and talk to and that type of thing. Otherwise, I'm going to get annihilated. And so I asked him, when did you first know? He said, the moment I met you. So, yeah, he knew. See, that's what I'm saying about the whole thing. And people do. And people have seen how I defend other people when they get in situations that other people wouldn't help them out of. Just my nature is so much more different than anybody I know. I'm lonely like God. Could you imagine? Could you imagine being so different? Maybe you are. You might be. But being so flippin' lonely that the only other lonely entity would either be God or Satan, that's a trip. I'm not saying you're not. I'm asking you if you are. There's a difference, you know. So I don't mean to get on here, pardon me for sounding so arrogant. It's repulsive because people hate me for it. And I'm sorry for anybody that is going through that also. And not to put any of my pain on you like that. If you're not going through that, you're the ones that I intend to put the pain on. if that were possible, if you had any human emotions and feelings and connection with other people. That's what I had to get away from because it was so different. All my life, the way my friends would talk, their sexuality, their actions, their everything. Moral values, what is it? Who are they? And when I find out who they are, that's when I have the decision to make. Gee, do I settle for this? Do I tolerate it? Do I overlook it? Or do I walk away from it? You know? So, yeah, I had a little bit of a sad morning. Sometimes it hits me really hard of it's not a lost friendship or anything because I couldn't be friends with somebody that isn't friendly to me, but it's still painful nonetheless, you know? Doug said, well, look at it this way. It's not happening now and we don't want to live in the past. No, but it doesn't take the pain away from the fact that it's hard to find somebody on that same level. And I can't prove it, you know, but they know it. They just know it. And I know they do. I've always said that. People always knew who I was inside, even before I did. What a trip. Yeah. The tortures I've been through, I did not understand what was happening in my life or why. I really didn't. After a while, I started catching on, but yeah, that's something else. So I really don't mean to come off as all arrogant like that. I truly do have gifts from God, my strength, my goodness, all of it, and it's real. So I don't mean to. And if I didn't walk the walk, I'd sound like a fucking ass, arrogant, fucking an asshole. But I walk my walk. That's who I am. So I can't say and do anything else if you see my situation. Hey, if it's not pride, if you're arrogant about something, like if you do something better than anybody else in the world, that's yours. That's not somebody else's. And another person can't say, hey, you really need to tone it down because we don't need to hear about your successes in life because we're not doing that. Well, what do you do that's really cool? I would like to know, you know. Then that's yours. And I'm not going to say, oh, gee, you should really tone it down. Like, hey, Double O, you should really stop playing your good music. And God forbid you have an imagination to write a song. Shh, tone it down. You know, we don't need to hear your talents and you sound so arrogant, my good friend. You know? So anyway. But are you good enough? Yeah? Hey, ask that of me too. We need to judge our friendships first and foremost. Who are we around in our lives and why? And, you know, take it from there. But, yeah, it's a major deal. Who we spend our time with and why. And like I say, it can be a real painful thing and a very lonely thing. I mean, it's not that I've never socialized or anything, and I've had good times doing it. Even like, okay, one of my favorite jobs was being a blackjack dealer. The casino would be packed. you couldn't even distinguish one person from another. It'd be so full. That'd be some of my favorite days. Time just flew by, you know. And so, I mean, being around a whole bunch of people, that part doesn't really bother me as much as even an individual person that can get at me closely and do damage to my psyche. And that's the only way they can get me. They can't make me deny God, ever. Never. No matter what they do to me, you know. So they can only do their little bits and pieces, their little digs and jabs, and that's all they got, you know. Like I told Doug, I said, God told me to trust no one. That sounds sad, but that's the fact. That's what my heart has been told my entire life. And it's 100% accurate. Now, it isn't that I'm instructed to not love people, because that would be so far from the truth. I would step in front of danger for you. I do love, no matter who you are. So, you can ask Doug. Doug's not a fighter, but I saw him get hit in the face, and I was ready to do some damage. I did kick the person out of my house, but it got worse than that after that. I confronted a bunch of people in a really bad place because of a lot of stuff that was going on towards Doug, you know? So, and a lot of people aren't that brave. That's what's scary to them. And I know it is. I was telling Doug, that's why it's mostly men hate me. Because they can get all brave at a distance. They can scream, holler, swear, tell me they're going to walk me to hell and all the rest of their bullshit. But when it comes right down to it, there's something there that God gave me, and that puts the fear of God in them. And I know it does, and they know it does. I think it's funny, but it's real. It's real as hell, because you're looking at the worst ninja God created on this planet. Believe what you want. So, and I know it, and they know it. Talk about covert, they think, oh, it's just grandma. That's just whoever, whatever, and whatever. That's the funny part. Still sad, though, if you know what I mean. But I'll either be by your side or not at all, you know. Or I will be your enemy directly, and I don't have a problem with that. I always challenge anybody that wants to hurt me. I will not back down. You do not want to scare me. That's bad. I get a instinct of one smidgen of fear, and you're in danger. I have to be attacked first. Always. See, that's the honorable part of me that they've tried to take advantage of, but it just never works out well for them no matter what. So, from experience, I can tell you that's very true. So, I really, my friends, I don't mean to come off arrogant like that. I believe my soul is older than any female on this planet. And I really do not mean to offend or hurt anybody like that. My brothers and sisters of God like that, please understand me. So, you know. The weird thing is, there might be, I mean, really knowing me, really knowing me, there might be one other person on this planet besides Doug. But he knows me. And really, the only reason he was ever around me is because this is the truth. I can project my thoughts. The dark cabal, they can project their thoughts in bad ways, but they can't actually make a future for themselves, whereas I can. And that's where it makes me valuable. That's why I am not dead yet. They've tried. When you can't kill somebody and you've sent hordes and leagues of people to try and destroy one child, a child, for God's sakes, and they couldn't do it, that would be scary, you know? And the Masons and the Jesuits started respecting me. The Shriners and the Scottish Rites thought they were a little snootier than that. And they have a reckoning coming for all their misdeeds that I know about and can't prove. But that's okay too. They're going to get theirs in the end. When you do ill will, especially towards children, but when you do ill to people, there's punishment, period. No matter what there is. Satan's either going to get you or God's going to teach you, one of the two. God's going to be out of love. And he might use Satan to do that. That doesn't matter because he made Satan too. Doesn't give Satan free reign. You have authority over that dark force. Period. And anything they throw at you, you may not come out unscathed. It might even kill you. But you got to determine, am I this flesh? Will I have a eternal body? Am I immortal? Am I a soul in this flesh? Do I trust God? Or am I going to cave and pacify the weaknesses on this planet for the flesh? Or am I actually this spirit with promises of a glorified body that doesn't decay? What would it be? In your mind, in your heart, who are you? Are you flesh or are you spirit? This is where we make that distinction, that decision. And you have to be strong on it. You can't be wishy-washy and on the fence about that. You know, Satan loves you on the fence, don't get me wrong. But God doesn't. And he won't allow it. It's just not allowed. So if you're around where the conversations are filthy and you overlook it or laugh at it or even join in, you've just bowed to the dark force with them. You know, that's just how strong I am. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you what level you are on or putting you down in any extreme. I am just telling you about myself as an example of what's expected out of us. That's all. That's all I can do. Now, if you're in a workplace or your business or public functions and different things, that's a little hard to do sometimes. You know, you can't always be secluded from it, you know. But it doesn't make it, it's not going to go unchecked. Anytime you go through something and God's holding your hand, that connection condemned the other person that was doing you ill will. And that I've tried to protect people from. Even when they're hurting me, I'm trying to protect them. Isn't that getting weird? That's how weird I am. You know? Nothing like loving your enemies, right? Oh, please don't meet beat me, Mr. Demon. You know? Mr. Demon's like, shut the hell up. I can do whatever I want. Nah, well, you just think you can, Mr. Demon. You'll pay for it. Or Mrs. or Ms. You get the point. God sees everything. It's not free. That part, you gotta believe that's true. Oops. I dropped a aspirin. Excuse me a minute. I wouldn't bother, but I wouldn't want my cat to get it. Ugh. And now I can't take it because it's yucky. I have another cigarette and talk with you for a while. So, yeah, I don't mean to come off arrogant, but I am who I am. I know the things I know. I do what I do, and I can't be anybody else. If I were, I wouldn't sound boastful because I wouldn't have anything to boast about. But when you grow up trapping and skinning stuff and making hides in your bedroom and doing beadwork and seamstress and cooking and hunting and fishing and I had a chemistry set I'd monkey with. I mean I could go on and on. A telescope. I mean, so many things that I had knowledge of all my life. I can't water it down and sound like somebody I'm not. I'm probably far worse than you would even imagine. So if I sound boastful, I really, really don't mean to. I honestly don't. But I did build a car from the ground up when I was 17 and I owned a body shop. You know, I've done a lot of things in my life that it's real. I took a motor out of a car and put it back in by myself as a young mother. I mean, these weird things that, and different times I fixed my own vehicle. You know? I mean, the weird things that I actually know how to do that other people don't. So it's not arrogance. It's knowledge. Real, actual stuff. That if you have something funky with your car, I can probably tell you what it is. You know? My kids used to call, especially my youngest one, Mom, I got this going on, or my friend's got this going on with their vehicle. And I said, well, tell me about it. And he tried to kind of slight me and chide me. And I said, yeah, I'll let you talk to Doug, but what's going on? You know, he's busy. And then I'd tell him how to fix it. And he'd get on the phone and he'd say, didn't your mother just tell you that? You know, that type of thing. I know about canning. I did that all my life. Drying stuff, herbs, herbal medicine, herbal food. I mean, geology, astronomy, astrology, theology, psychology, and medicine. All the things I actually studied or did for a profession. Cooking, you know, whatever. A lot of stuff. And I was a ranch hand for a long time. That was fun. Good job. Good jobs, I should say. Rode in a rodeo. Broke horses. Trained dogs, you know. Attack and for hunting. I mean, the things I've done, like real tangible stuff, I do. The list is so vast, it's crazy. I just cannot find somebody on that level to talk to. Doug is close, very close. And mechanically and electronically surpasses my knowledge. Maybe. And that's a big maybe. You know? For real. You know? I'm the kind of woman that took 300-pound pieces of slab wood and built myself a corral in a horse barn by myself when I was sick. So, yeah, I mean, and I didn't feel good. I keep pushing because I'm strong like that. My mind is strong. But I've had ailments all my life. I have to ignore them or I wouldn't even get out of bed, you know? Like when I wasn't ever supposed to walk or different things, or had a stroke or, the weird things I've been through that I just kept pushing, and God helps me like that, Everything, even when I need to learn or do something, all glory to God, all credit to God. So you're looking at one of his kids, not just an arrogant ass. I'm telling you how it's done. I'm not just trying to be a jerk, because I'd be the best friend you ever had in your life. That's who I am. I don't care who you are. You won't find a more trustworthy, intelligent person on this planet. So, and you can say whatever you want. I know who I am. I prove my worth daily to everybody. I'm humble like that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I love and I'm humble. I'm not arrogant. I'm not boasting. I'm explaining what I go through and why I go through it. Because of all that, I am. And I do believe I'm a very old soul. I can't prove that either. So I do appreciate anybody that takes the time to listen, because I do feel that I have things inside me that I'm supposed to talk about. And probably for the person that's listening, there's something that I'm conveying with the Spirit of God for everybody, and hopefully, and I love it when I hear that out of other people, because I know that's directed by Him. He's the conductor. We're conduits. That is true. But I'm going to search my heart a little more on, is it coming from the outside or the inside? I'm saying both. So there's a thing in the scripture, being covered by the blood of the Lamb, or the woman covered with Christ's blood, and makes you kind of wonder who that person is. But if you ever had a nightmare of having a bucket of blood thrown on you, then God said, here's a cup of shut up, drink that. This is her sorrows. How do you like that bitterness? And what I'm saying is real. I can't prove any of that, but there might be one person who understood what I just said, or two, couple, maybe a few, maybe the 144,000, I don't know. But if that's who you are, by all means speak up, because obviously out of 8 billion people, there isn't many of us like that. Doug calculated the other day, I am, how much is a billion, he says to me. I said, well, I started calculating it, and before I could get there, he said, you are just a little over a year of 1 billion minutes old. And that trip, so 66. And that's his mathematical mind. I work like that too, and I was getting there. I was almost getting there. But he told me before I could, that's a trip. I'm just over 1 billion minutes old. What a trip. A year. I think I'm a year, or what did he say, or months. On my birthday, 66, I was 1 billion minutes old. That's a trip. That's how many a billion is. 66 years worth of minutes. It seems, some days it seemed like a lot of minutes. When I was young, geez, the days went on forever. It seemed like every day was never going to end. And then there'd be another one. I'm like, I don't know that I'm liking this time thing so much, you know? So it said that what was it? The Egyptians went by Shars and lunar calendar because the sun couldn't be trusted. It went retrograde and did other funky things. That's why a lot of cultures would have a lunar calendar, and that's the difference between the a day is like a year or a month, and that's how we can determine that part in the scripture like that, because they changed the calendars. So all right, everybody, I appreciate you joining me. Whenever my internet gets back on, I'll be able to upload this. I'm not sure. It's 1:15 in the afternoon p.m. here in Pine City. Peace and love. Have a good night or day wherever you're at.